Don't let her find out.
That message wasn't meant for me, but I saw it anyway. Have you ever looked at something you wish you could unsee? Something small, accidental. But the moment you notice it, everything changes. I'm Evelyn Carter. I'm 72 years old, and until that afternoon, I thought I understood my family. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. It was a quiet Sunday, the kind I've lived through hundreds of times. Tea steeping beside me, the ticking clock on the wall, and my grandson, Liam, sitting across from me. 16 years old, hunched slightly, scrolling through his phone like teenagers do. He doesn't visit as often anymore, says he's busy. School, friends, life. I try not to take it personally, but you notice these things when you get older. "Grandma, look at this," he said suddenly, turning his phone toward me. It was just a picture. A dog, I think. Something harmless. I smiled, leaned in, and he handed me the phone so I could see better. That's when it happened. A notification slid down from the top of the screen. "Don't let her find out." I froze. At first, I told myself it was nothing. Kids say strange things. It could mean anything. But then another message appeared. Same contact, same tone. And something about it didn't feel right. My fingers tightened around the phone. I could feel my pulse in my hands. Should I ignore it? I should have. I know I should have. But instead, I tapped it. The screen shifted. A conversation opened. And just like that, I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be. The messages weren't loud or obvious. No threats, no shouting, just quiet, careful sentences. The kind that only make sense if you already know what they're about. I kept reading, each line pulling me further in, each word colder than the last. Then I saw it. She trusts you. That's what makes this easy. My stomach dropped. Who were they talking about? I slowly lifted my eyes from the phone and looked at Liam. He was watching me. Not confused, not curious, watching. And in that moment, I felt something I had never felt before in my life. I didn't recognize my own grandson. And I realized whatever I had just stepped into was only the beginning. What I saw next made me question everything I thought I knew about my own family. I forced a small smile and handed Liam his phone back, pretending nothing had happened. Have you ever done that? Pretended everything was normal when your mind was anything but? He took the phone quickly. Too quickly. "Cool, right?" he said, glancing at me, his voice casual but not quite natural. "Very nice," I replied, steadying my tone. But inside, nothing was steady. Liam had always been a good boy, quiet, polite, the kind of child who said please without being reminded. I helped raise him while my daughter, Marianne, worked long hours. I knew his habits, his moods, his little tells. And right now, something was off. He kept checking his phone. Not openly, just small glances, quick movements, like he was waiting for something, or someone. I tried to focus on our conversation, but my thoughts kept drifting back to that message. Don't let her find out. Who was her? And why did it feel like it could be someone close? Minutes passed, or maybe longer. Time felt strange. Then Liam stood up. "I should get going." That was fast. You just got here, I said gently. Yeah, I've got stuff to do. Stuff. He didn't elaborate. He didn't need to. But that word lingered in the air longer than it should have. As he turned to leave, something in me pushed forward. Liam, I said, stopping him. He paused, slowly. Yes? I hesitated. This was the moment. I could ask directly. I could confront him. But instead, I chose something softer. What are your plans for tomorrow? A simple question, but his reaction? Not simple. He shrugged. Nothing much. Too quick. Will you see your mum? I added, watching him closely. Another pause, smaller this time. Maybe. Maybe. That word echoed louder than it should have. He gave me a quick smile, then left. Just like that. And suddenly, the house felt different. Quieter than before. Heavier. I sat back down, staring at the empty space he had just occupied. And that's when it hit me. Fragments of the conversation I had seen started replaying in my mind. Timing, secrecy, trust. And then, one line clearer than the rest. Tomorrow after 6, she'll be alone. My heart began to pound. Tomorrow after 6. Marianne gets home from work at 5:30, and she's always alone in the evenings. I felt a chill run through me. Slowly, unwillingly, the pieces started to fit together. And I realized I might know exactly who that message was about. I wanted to believe I was wrong, but the messages kept proving I wasn't. Have you ever tried to talk yourself out of something your instincts are screaming is true? That was me. Sitting alone in my living room, staring at nothing, replaying every word I had seen on Liam's phone. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe it was about someone else. Maybe it was harmless. But deep down, I didn't believe that. I reached for my phone, then stopped. What was I supposed to say to Marianne? Hi, I think your son might be planning something behind your back. No, that sounded absurd. Dangerous, even. So instead, I called her anyway. And lied. Hi, sweetheart, I said, keeping my voice light. Just checking in. We spoke for a moment. Small talk, work, the usual. Then I slipped it in. What are you doing tomorrow evening? There was a pause. I'll be home, she said. Why? Just wondering, I replied quickly. Thought I might stop by sometime this week. You can come tomorrow if you want, she said. I'll be alone after work. After work. Alone. The words landed exactly where I feared they would. All right, I said softly. Maybe I will. We hung up. And just like that, it wasn't a suspicion anymore. It was a timeline. I sat there, staring at my phone, feeling something shift inside me. This wasn't curiosity anymore. This was fear. Real fear. Then another memory surfaced, something I almost missed in the messages. A single line. Make sure she doesn't suspect anything. You're the only one she trusts. My chest tightened. That wasn't random. That was deliberate. Someone was using Liam, not just talking to him, guiding him. And Liam, for whatever reason, was going along with it. I stood up abruptly. No more waiting, no more guessing. If something was going to happen tomorrow, I was going to be there. But I wouldn't tell Marianne, and I definitely wouldn't tell Liam. Because if I was right, then whatever this was, it depended on no one knowing. The next day felt longer than any day I could remember. Every hour stretched, every minute dragged. By the time evening came, my nerves were already worn thin. At 5:30, I got in my car. At 5:55, I parked down the street from Marianne's house. And as I sat there, watching the quiet neighbourhood, one thought kept repeating in my mind. If Liam is involved in this, what exactly is he planning to let happen? The next evening, I arrived early, and what I saw confirmed everything. Have you ever felt something was about to happen before it actually did? That's what the air felt like that evening. Still. Too still. I sat in my car, parked just far enough down the street that I wouldn't be noticed. Marianne's house looked the same as always. Lights on, curtains drawn halfway. Nothing unusual. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was already in motion. At exactly 6:12 p.m., a car turned the corner. My breath caught. It was Liam. He parked casually. No rush, no hesitation. Then he stepped out and walked straight to the front door. No knocking, no waiting. He pulled out a key and let himself in. My stomach dropped. That wasn't unusual on its own. He'd always had a key. But tonight, it meant something different. I waited. 10 seconds, 20. Then I got out of the car. Each step toward the house felt heavier than the last. My heart was pounding so loudly, I was sure someone inside could hear it. When I reached the door, it was slightly open. I didn't knock. I stepped inside. At first, silence. Then, voices. Marianne's voice, calm but uncertain. I don't understand. Liam, who is this? Another voice answered, male, older, smooth. It's all right. I just need a few minutes of your time. I froze. Slowly, carefully, I moved further into the house, until the living room came into view. And that's when I saw them. Liam stood near the doorway, not speaking, not moving, just watching. And across from Marianne was a man I hadn't seen in years. Aaron Mitchell, 28 years old. He used to live in this neighbourhood. Quiet, but not in a good way. People talked. Stories about scams, about manipulation. Nothing ever proven, but enough to make you uneasy. And now he was here, inside my daughter's house, talking to her like he belonged there. I heard you might be able to help me, Aaron was saying, his tone calm, almost friendly. Just a quick conversation about some financial matters. Marianne looked confused, guarded. Liam said nothing. That's when it hit me. This wasn't random. This wasn't harmless. Liam didn't just know about this. He made it possible. I stepped forward. Aaron? My voice cut through the room like glass. All three of them turned. And in that instant, everything shifted. Aaron's expression changed. Not surprise, recognition, calculation. The room went silent, and I realized I hadn't stopped anything yet. I had just walked directly into it. I hadn't stopped anything yet, but I was about to. The silence in the room was suffocating. Aaron looked at me first. Not startled, not nervous, just measuring. Then he smiled. "Mrs. Carter," he said calmly, like this was some planned meeting. "Didn't expect you." Of course he didn't. That was the one thing that hadn't been part of his plan. Marianne turned to me, her face pale. "Mum, what is going on?" I didn't answer her right away. My eyes were locked on Liam. "Tell her," I said. His composure cracked instantly. I didn't think," he stammered, his voice shaking. "He said it wasn't a big deal." "Liam," Marianne snapped, fear creeping into her voice. "What did you do?" That's when everything unraveled. Aaron had been talking to Liam for weeks. It started online, messages, advice, pretending to be someone successful, someone trustworthy. He told Liam he knew ways to recover money from people who had more than they needed. He made it sound harmless, smart even. All Liam had to do was let him in. Tell him when Marianne would be home, when she'd be alone. Make sure she didn't suspect anything. And Liam, naive, curious, wanting to feel important, agreed. "I didn't think he'd actually do anything," Liam said, tears forming. "I thought he just wanted to talk to her." Aaron exhaled softly, clearly irritated the situation was slipping. "This is getting unnecessary," he muttered. "No," I said firmly. "It's over." Marianne had already grabbed her phone. "I'm calling the police." That's when Aaron's calm finally broke. But it was too late. Within minutes, everything escalated. Voices raised, footsteps outside, sirens in the distance. When the police arrived, the truth came out quickly. Aaron had a record. Fraud, manipulation, targeting vulnerable connections. Liam was just the latest doorway. He was arrested on the spot. And Liam? He wasn't taken away, but the consequences didn't spare him. There were interviews, long conversations, his phone confiscated, counselling mandated, trust completely shattered. Marianne changed after that, more guarded, more watchful. And Liam, quieter than I had ever seen him.
Weeks later, he came to visit me again. Same house, same chair, same silence. He handed me his phone. Unlocked, no hesitation. I looked at it, then gently pushed it back. "I don't need to see your phone," I told him. He looked up at me, uncertain. "I just need to know who you're becoming." He nodded, slowly. And for the first time since that day, I recognized him again. Not the boy he was before, but someone who understood what almost happened. Some secrets hide in the dark, but the most dangerous ones, they're the ones handed to you and almost trusted.